Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's only I'm gonna be a little bit more vulnerable with you guys today and sharing a little bit more about myself. I've uh, I've been in the medical field for 6 years now. I'm 26. I started at the age of 20. Have a variety of medical experience. I was a PCT or patient care tech. I was a dialysis PCT, which is basically a PCT, but they worked with people with kidney failure. And I was finally a BHA or a behavioral health associate for a child psychiatric facility. But now that we got the positions I played in the medical field, I wanted to yap slash rant about why I'm finished with it and why I'm going to be embarking on a journey as far as career goes. Well, for starters, the mental drainage that comes with it, it's a toll. I'm sure you've heard your stories of nurses that have seen crazy things or doctors that have dealt with crazy things. But, I started my career around the time of the pandemic. Yeah, I'm aware, terrible timing, but the hospital needed people and I needed a paycheck, so it seemed like a win-win in the moment. But not to be your typical cornball, but it was never about the money, honestly. Like, yeah, sure, the pay was solid, but it was a reward seeing people get better, go home and, get back with their family. But it wasn't always peaches and cream. The burden when things would go left was the draining part of it all. And people, that you were taking care of for maybe weeks on end, and then you come back and they're not there anymore. That's burdening on the spirit. It's like, yo, this kind of fucking sucks. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, we were having dope conversations and then I'm gone not even 24 hours and you're no longer here. But that's life, that's the reality of it. It's kind of what I signed up for. Another reason, now mind you, this is just my experience. This isn't everything that anyone has probably not dealt with in life, but 83% of the people that I worked with had zero care for the role that they were supposed to be playing. Like, I mean, when I was a BHA working at the children's psychiatric facility, and I'm not going to name the place because word to Drake, they like to sue. I was tasked with noting, monitoring the children, and helping the kids on my unit with whatever they may need, social peer, maybe some words of encouragement, whatever the case may be. Now, these children were ranged ages 5 to 18, various levels of mental issues, off rip, that's a handful, and we're supposed to be assigned 2 to 3 peers per unit. So, if you're dealing with 20 kids, divide it up. Okay, you take these handfuls of kids. Okay, well, maybe this kid works easier with you, typical teamwork, if you will. But they would just ignore these kids, curse them out, talk bad on them, just be terrible people. And I'm like, yeah, okay, they're annoying, sure, but they're kids. And then they're kids with various mental issues. Some of them might be bipolar and they're not properly diagnosed yet. So you're wondering why they're snapping on you one minute and then crying the next, whatever the case may be. But it's the same thing when I was working in the hospitals. People used to ignore patients, complain about them, gossip about everybody. It's just a drama-filled soap opera, and I was just like, I'm done. But honestly, the last reason to why I'm really removing myself fully, it's not the same. From when I first started to what it is now, it's really not the same. There's such a level of change that I can't verbally express. I physically see it. I mentally, deal with it, but it's just not what it used to be. Everything's a profit. Everything's about a dollar. Everything's about, oh, well, how can we, salvage the next, patient in here without having to use the most resources. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing? But that's not what I signed up for. It's not what I wanted to deal with. I wanted to believe that I can work with a facility that would provide care and provide, some level of nurturement to people that are in need, because one day I'm going to get old and I'm going to be dealing with, whatever health problems that God might have entail for me. But I'm afraid though, because it's like, are these people going to treat me worse? You know what I mean? Is it going to be one of those things where you got to hope and pray that you get a decent human being to nurture and care for you in your time of need? But with all that being said, I got to admit, it is very comforting to finally remove myself from that environment. Maybe, start embarking on a new one, wherever that may take me. But yeah, this is my experience, and this is why I'm leaving the medical field. Apologies if it's a little rambled or a sloppy rant, but it's only O, and we're going to see where this goes.